The sound of fascism is only growing louder, as new legal documents have just exposed the extent of Donald Trump's illegal actions. How's it going, everybody? My name is Hunter Avalone with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video, and don't forget to click that like button if you believe that it's time for Donald Trump to start respecting the law. Now, we're going to go over these new legal documents that have shown Trump's illegal actions in just a moment, but first, let's go over a brief recap as to all of the various different illegal actions that Trump has been taking. First, only a short while ago, Donald Trump's attorneys absolutely horrified legal experts by arguing that federal agents have the right to invade homes without a warrant, based on an archaic 18th century wartime law. This is incredibly concerning, to say the least. But then again, Trump did say he might have to be a dictator for a day. Is anybody really surprised that he's not respecting the law? According to the increasingly authoritarian administration, federal agents should be able to exploit the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, the same law they abused recently to deport alleged Venezuelan gang members to enter homes without a court order. Of course, this is incredibly concerning. Republicans talk a big game about loving the Constitution, respecting the Constitution, and now it sounds like Trump is trying to use this Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to completely ignore constitutional protections. Crucially, the law allows federal agents to circumvent the Fourth Amendment and can technically be applied to target any foreigner that the president labels an alien enemy, theoretically giving Trump incredible leeway to abuse his powers. And honestly, this should really concern everybody, especially real and genuine authentic conservatives, because if you really do care and respect the Constitution, this is absolutely abysmal. Donald Trump has already talked about locking people up for burning the American flag, and now he's talking about violating the Fourth Amendment. Although it's really sad, it's still true that many patriots who support Donald Trump are actually not patriots at all. They don't give a crap about American law, the Constitution, or our founding principles. All they care about is following Donald Trump. And that is not only dangerous, it's fascistic. And I understand that even me using the label of fascist is probably going to make a couple people angry, and this is because fascism, by definition, is incoherent, meaning it's incredibly difficult to define. However, there are 14 characteristics that have been defined of fascism, and it's fair to say that Trump and his administration absolutely meet quite a few. The third tenet of fascism is identification of enemies/scapegoats as a unifying cause. The people are rallied into a unifying patriotic frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common threat or foe. Racial, ethnic, or religious minorities, liberals, communists, socialists, terrorists, etc. And this is exactly what we're witnessing right now. Donald Trump does not care about these people's human rights. He doesn't care about their constitutional rights, and a bunch of patriots that claim to be in support of the Constitution are now being rallied into a unified patriotic frenzy, believing that this is somehow a good thing. Now, if this is not concerning enough, these new legal documents have gone a step further, and they have blatantly exposed the extent by which Trump has just trampled the law. Most people know that just a couple days ago, Donald Trump deported some 100 plus Venezuelans to an El Salvador prison. Now, quickly after, the Trump administration actually acknowledged that the people who were deported did not have any criminal record. They tried to claim that the lack of criminal record is proof that they were actually a risk or something. It was absolutely embarrassing, and it was illegal because Trump just completely ignored due process. And now for the new legal documents, the moment you've all been waiting for. Brand new sworn declarations were filed, and they confirmed the Trump administration sent innocent people to rot in prison in El Salvador, including a professional soccer player tortured by a regime who entered this country legally to seek asylum and has no criminal record in either country. The papers filed by an immigration attorney state, in February and March 2024, Mr. Reyes marched in 2 demonstrations in Venezuela, protesting the authoritarian rule of Maduro. At the second demonstration, he was detained and taken to a Klanzadite building where he was tortured with electrical shocks and suffocation. Shortly after his release, he fled Venezuela for the United States. He registered with CBP-1 in Mexico, then presented himself to CBP officials on the day of his appointment. He was then taken into custody and detained in a detention facility in September 2024. Then on March 15, 2025, Mr. Reyes was deported to El Salvador with no notice to counsel or family. It was not until March 18, 2025, that counsel was able to reach an ICE official and learned that he had in fact been deported. Mr. Reyes was/is a professional soccer player in Venezuela. He has never been arrested or charged with a crime. He has a steady employment record as a soccer player as well as a soccer coach for children and youth. Initially, he was placed in a maximum security prison and accused of being part of a gang. And the accusations are based on some of the most flimsy, shallow evidence ever known to man. First, they claimed that his tattoo was that of a gang member. In reality, he chose this tattoo because it's similar to the logo for his favorite soccer team. And the second piece of evidence was simply a single social media post in which Mr. Reyes is showing off some kind of hand gesture the DHS alleges is proof of gang membership, when in reality, this gesture is a common one that means I love you in sign language and is commonly used as a rock and roll symbol. So because somebody had an Instagram account and got a tattoo, that was enough for the Trump administration to completely deport this person without due process. That is not only deeply concerning, it is fascistic. Another tenet of fascism is the obsession with crime and punishment. Under fascist regimes, the police are given almost limitless power to enforce laws. The people are often willing to overlook police abuses and even forego civil liberties in the name of patriotism. And now, what do you know? We're witnessing Trump trying to trample all over the Fourth Amendment, and we're witnessing Trump completely disregarding constitutional rights for due process. After he was deported, counsel and family members have lost all contact with him, and they have no information regarding his whereabouts or conditions. So these brand new sworn declarations absolutely do reveal the extent by which Trump violates the law. Only a fascistic megalomaniac like Donald Trump would trample all over the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, all in the name of patriotism. I'm sorry, but if you are undermining America's founding principles, you're not a patriot. You are a traitor.